Hello, folks. Well, that intro ended quite abruptly. I'm not sure what happened there. But thanks for joining us. I'm Gary McLean, and you're watching Talent Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Just a reminder that if you haven't done so already, please do go to the Talent Talk YouTube channel and subscribe today. As always, your support is greatly appreciated. We're trying something a little bit new this year, where we're actually putting all episodes onto multiple podcasts, such as Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all these scenarios. If you want a full list, you can check it out in the details in the YouTube episode. And finally, this is a live and interactive show. So if you have any questions or comments as the show goes on, please don't hesitate to throw them in the comment section, and we will try to address them as the show goes on. Now, today's guest, she is a singer, songwriter from Okotoks, Alberta. Good shout out to Okotoks there. She's got multiple released tracks and has a new music video coming out soon, which we will definitely be chatting on. She is also an actor and figure skater. So let's see how all this ties together and give a warm welcome to Talia Sargent.
Hi.
Good day, Talia.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Not too bad. Living in Okotoks, that's such a small little town, but you seem like the big talent coming out of Okotoks nowadays. So,
Thank you.
And are you originally from Okotoks, or?
Yes.
Born
I was actually born in Winnipeg, but then we moved here like when I was really young. So,
that's
kind of all that I know is Okotoks, Calgary area.
Fair enough. And have you traveled much at all, or do you kind of just stick to the local area?
Sometimes, not very often, but I actually got to go to Austria for a figure skating event, like just before the pandemic, which was really cool. But
nice.
That's cool.
Let's dive right into the figure skating. You actually come from a bit of a figure skating family, from what I understand, right?
Yeah, I do.
And maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and how that got all started, and having parents that are figure skaters as well. Was that pretty intense, or?
Yeah, like my dad is a figure skater, and my mom used to be a figure skater as well, and so it's kind of just engraved in me, I guess. And for how involved they are, they're always like super nice as well, like helping me with my figure skating as well. But it's definitely pretty cool because my dad still figure skates now. So yeah, it's super fun and interesting.
So with your dad still figure skating, like, have you done combos with him, or like a duets kind of scenario with your dad on ice?
Yeah, I actually did. My last year of high school, we did like a duet together as kind of like I guess like, oh, I'm graduating kind of thing, which is really cool. It was like a dad-daughter dance. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's so much better than just the lame, floor dance.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Austria. Austria, you said?
Yeah, Austria.
Yeah. How did that all come about? Like, was that part of like a specific competition with a local group?
Yeah. So it was actually for my dad because him and his partner went to like adult masters figure skating. It was kind of like a winter mini Olympics, but not really. Kind of like a national thing. And so we went there, and I got to be his coach for him and his partner. And I also got to train with some professional coaches out there, which was really fun. And yeah, it all kind of stemmed from my dad, and he did a competition over there. So yeah.
Okay. So when did you get started as a figure skater? How old were you?
Figure skating, like all I can remember, like I think I was pretty young when I started skating at least, but when I started like actually figure skating was probably around like 7. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
And like, are you still figuring skating today, or is there some of your other passions kind of overtaking that right now?
Yeah, it's hard to find the time for myself to figure skate, but I actually am a figure skating coach. So that
Okay.
is what I do with my other time that I have.
Right. So, what kind of age group do you coach?
I coach all ages from like the little babies that can't even stand up to the adults like my dad and everything. So it's a wide variety of things.
Okay. And is it something you would? I guess, yeah. Before we even get to that question,
Yeah.
let's just chat a little bit about how you actually transitioned from figure skating into what came next. Was it the singing, or was it what was
Yeah,
kind of your
so
next?
like from a very young age, I did basically everything. So I did dancing, I did singing, I did piano lessons, I did figure skating, gymnastics, like
Okay.
anything they could put me in, I did. Um, so I kind of grew up in that zone, and I did a lot of musical theater and like festivals and stuff. So that kind of really started my singing. And I remember when I was younger, um, I had like this karaoke track to like some Katy Perry songs, and that's when I decided I was gonna write my own lyrics. So that's
Okay.
kind of when I started. Um, but when I started going a little bit more professionally into singing, was kind of during the pandemic. I was like, I really like singing, and I couldn't figure skate because everything was shut down and stuff. And I'm like, well, what can I do from my house to entertain myself? And I kind of found singing then, and now ever since I've just been diving into it more, recording in the studio and making videos and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was. What was your first instrument? I guess that you learned to play. Was it the piano
Um,
or?
I learned to play the piano. I'm not very good though.
Do you have your own piano at home that you can kind of practice
Yeah, I
on, or?
have a piano back there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's kind of in the light, so you can't see, but um,
There we go.
yeah, I that's my piano, and I I try to play around with it a lot, but I mostly just like coming up with like lyrics and singing that way more than kind of melodies with the piano. I'm more of like a lyric focused singer, and like storytelling, I guess. So yeah.
Okay. So where do you? Speaking of that, like, on the storytelling, so where do you get some of your motivation for some of this songwriting that you do?
Usually like scenarios that happen, like anything in regular life that I'm like, I'll think of something and I'm like, oh my gosh, that would make a good song. So then I kind of just go off of that. Um, yeah, just whatever I'm feeling in the moment. Or sometimes I'll be inspired by like a TV show or something, and I'm like, oh, that situation would make a really cool song. So then I'll try to figure out how I could make it into like a song that people could listen to.
Okay. And what's your process like? And how long does it take you to write the song, um, and b to kind of jam it out, if you will, and figure out the sounds that you want?
Yeah. Well, the lyrics, if it's a good song, I feel like it happens pretty quickly because um, everything just kind of comes to me. Some songs take a little bit more thinking of trying to make it work, but usually it's like, oh, that worked pretty well and it all rhymes. And for the music standpoint, I have an amazing producer. His name is Michael Hill, and he works with me a lot with trying to get the sounds that I want and how he can make the vision that I'm thinking in my head come to life. So I really appreciate him. He's a big part of how I do all of this.
Right. I think he's actually our one mutual friend on Facebook, actually.
Oh, really? Cool.
So, and funny enough, I think I chatted with him a little bit on Facebook, but other than that, I actually never met the fellas. So,
Hmm.
Facebook is weird that way. You know,
Yeah,
I have
so many
all
random
these,
people
yeah, so
that
many
you're like, how
randoms.
did I know this person?
Yeah, every once in a while, I just have to go back and review, and I'm like, yeah, I don't remember ever talking to that person. Yeah. Um, and so, speaking of the kind of the social media aspect of it, how do you find the promotion of your music and everything else? Like, do you find that there's a certain medium that works best for you at this point, or are you still kind of testing the waters to see what maybe works for getting the word out?
Yeah, I'm still kind of testing it out. I know Instagram is pretty good. Like a lot of my friends or followers will share it and post. But also, like, TikTok is another big one that's pretty good for sharing songs. A lot of things like blow up on there pretty easily. But my favorite is Instagram just because of the more social aspect. It's more like my friends or like people like that I
Right.
enjoy sharing
It,
with.
it's a bit more visual, I think. Right. Kind
Yeah,
of like TikTok, I guess, in a way. Just yeah, not
yeah,
as crazy as TikTok, but you know,
yeah.
um, yeah, it's. I think it's a decent medium as well. I Funny enough, most of my followers and all the medias that I use are on Twitter, but
Yeah,
I find that horrible for actually trying to promote anything, because it's just not a good medium in my opinion. But
yeah. I tried Twitter and I don't know how to work it. I just never really got the app before, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do Twitter. I don't know how it works.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but
probably a wise choice.
yeah.
Um, so, how many songs have you released at this point that you can think of? And do
So
you have an
far,
actual? Do you have a full album? I guess is the other question. I kind of have, or have you just been kind of releasing singles here and there and a couple music videos?
so right now my plan is more like singles, just because that's what gets picked up by the algorithm a lot better, um, for like Spotify and playlists and stuff. Um, and I really just enjoy diving in on like one song and giving it my complete attention and focus. But I would love to make an album. That would be so cool. Um, but like for now, I think I'm focusing on singles. Right now, I've released four, um, and I have a lot more on the back burner that I'm working on. So I'm super excited for all of that.
Yeah, and maybe you can because you've got a new one coming out relatively soon. I think right in June. I think, or is it
Um,
sooner?
yeah, like I right now I'm focusing on my song Anyone Else. And I released that one out and the music video is going to be coming out pretty soon. I haven't released the date yet, but um, that one's going to be coming out. And we worked really hard on it and I'm really excited for everyone to see it. Um, and yeah, my other songs I'm still working on planning the releases for those. So, but I'm like super excited for all of that. So,
Well, I can imagine. And so how did the creation of the videos actually start for you? Like, did you just know somebody who had a camera and you thought, let's give it a shot, or like the first video that you kind of worked on?
um, so it didn't release in this way, but the video that I filmed first was Forever and a Day, actually. And my producer's girlfriend, Lisette Xavier, she's also a singer, and she makes music videos. So she contacted me and said that she had a really awesome idea. And we just kind of talked through it from there and came up with like a story and a concept of what we wanted. And um, we just kind of made it work and got to film it. So,
Okay. You know what? That's a great segue, Forever in a Day, because we actually have that video available. So
yay.
if you're okay with it, we'll kind of throw that up, and after we're done, then maybe we can chat a bit more about it.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, here we go. Here is "Forever and a Day" by Talia Sargent.
No, you don't gotta make your mind up, baby, 'cause I know that you've been stressed out lately. No, you don't ever gotta worry about time, 'cause I'm gonna give you all of mine. And I'm liking where we are now. Don't wanna push it too far now. But I'll say I could stay with you forever, forever. You know I love it when you smile. I drive with you, can last for hours. I was talking, we don't care, we could be walking. Never knew one day could lead to this, but you had me from our first kiss. You truly got me thinking I could stay with you forever and a day. I never wanna put the pressure on you, but I was thinking, do you feel this way too? 'Cause you always made me feel so pretty. I never knew that love could be this easy. And I'm liking where we are now. Don't wanna push it too far now, but I'll say I could stay with you forever, forever. You know I love it when you smile. I drive with you, can last for hours. I was talking, we don't care, we could be walking. Never knew one day could lead to this, but you had me from our first kiss. You truly got me thinking I could stay with you forever A little early to tell you how I feel, but somehow I knew this love was real. And there's gonna be some tricky stuff, I know, but it's only gonna help us grow, make us who we wanna be. And I'll have you right here with me. Gotta make your mind up, baby, 'cause I know that you've been stressed out lately. I never wanna put the pressure on you, but I was thinking, do you feel this way too?
I had to let the credits roll because they deserve their credit. So
Yes, of course. Of course they do.
yeah, that was very nice. It was a nice little story. I like how that played
Thank
out.
you.
So how long did it take to shoot that?
Well, we actually got up at like 4 in the morning to drive to like a park. I think it was Fish Creek Park, and started shooting at 5 a.m. and I wasn't wrapped until like about 6 p.m. So it was a long day, but it was really fun. So it was worth it.
It's amazing the effort that goes in for 3 minutes of video, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. And was that kind of your first delving into acting, or had you done something previous to that?
I've actually done quite a bit of stuff before that. I was in a short film, and I also was in a documentary. There's a couple things on my IMDb page that are there that I've done, and also like a lot of background stuff I've done. I know a lot of people in the Calgary area got to be in Ghostbusters, so I also did that.
Nice.
And like Heartland and all that stuff as like background character. So I have done lots of acting, but this was kind of my first, I guess, lead as an
Right.
actor because it's my own video. But
So what were you guys arguing about? That's what I want to know. I was like, okay, what are these two
okay,
actually arguing about?
this took a long time to do because we just kept laughing at each other. And so um, we ended up talking about Star Wars and just started fighting about that. Um, and like the cute little teddy bear looking guys, I forget what they're called, but
Ewoks, yeah.
yeah, we were fighting about Ewoks.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys actually kept a straight face, to be honest.
I think you can see,
Yeah, I saw at least with him anyway. I saw a little smile kind of
yeah.
in the corner of his mouth. I was like, okay, but it actually played well because I thought maybe he was just like, oh, jeez, here we go again, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So it worked, but that's kind of what made me curious. I was like, oh, what are these guys actually arguing about?
Yeah, we tried. I think that's what took the longest, honestly.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. So how many takes do you figure it took you to do that?
Well, originally we had my parents there, which I think was making it a lot worse. So we made them go outside, and it was so warm out, but we stuck them outside in the heat, and then we could actually film. So I think it was like almost 20 times. But we figured it out. Once they were gone, we could yell and stop laughing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it turned out well. So,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's all that matters. The end result was good. And
Yeah,
you had fun
exactly.
doing it, right? So,
hmm It was
those are the
lots of fun.
key aspects. And I know I mentioned this, even before we started the interview, working with Mary Armstrong. She's one of my favorite ladies out there. So, um, yeah, I'm sure she must have been a pleasure to work with.
Oh,
Um,
she is so awesome. I love her so much. She was great the whole time, and like she did a great job. So
Yeah, yeah. And she's, you know what, she actually hasn't been doing this overly long. Like she hasn't been in the industry overly long, but she's making huge strides. She's doing quite well
yeah.
for herself. Yeah, couldn't happen to a nicer person. So,
Yeah.
um, and you know what? Usually, surprisingly enough, usually she's one of the folks that is watching. So I don't know if she's actually watching today, but if you are, hi Mary. Um,
Hello.
um, so out of because you've also done dance as well, I think, right?
Yes, I was a dancer as well.
Because I can't remember where I was. I was kind of scrolling through some stuff last night, and it came. Yeah, it might have been your dad's Facebook actually. I
Yeah.
made the connection there, and he had some videos of like some stuff you were doing, dancing and figure skating, and yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done a lot of dance, like
Yeah,
performing stuff?
my mom actually owned a dance studio when I was growing up, so I danced a lot. And I actually got to dance in Disneyland in the Disneyland parade. Um, I think almost like 3 times, which was really cool.
Okay.
Um, so I've done lots of dancing, lots of everything.
And have you had the opportunity to like other than that, like travel around for dance? Oh my goodness, words escape me. But to perform dance, have you actually traveled around for that, or has that been more
Um,
local?
yeah,
Other
like
than
we
the
went not as much as figure skating, but we did go to Vegas for like a competition and a convention, and then like the Disneyland California stuff. Um, that's kind of the most we did for my dance experience.
okay.
Yeah.
So out of all the things you've kind of done so far in your short life, because I don't think you're very old at this point, but do you have a favorite kind of area you'd like to kind of go right now, or is it music?
Oh.
Seems to
um,
be that's the direction, but I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are.
yeah, singing right now is my favorite. Like, I think um, it's really hard to pick, but if I had to pick one thing, I think it would be singing. Um, and acting a little bit. I do really enjoy doing that stuff. Um, but singing is really fun because it's like my own creation, and just like seeing it from start to finish, making the whole thing, and like being involved in the whole process. I think that's what I really like about it. So
Right, and that's the great thing about music and music videos is you can do both,
yeah,
right? So,
exactly.
do you kind of have an end goal in mind, or are you just kind of still kind of experiencing and expressing yourself at this point, or do you have like a goal in mind that you'd like to reach?
I mean, right now I would love to start doing some live shows. I know, um, that's kind of my goal for this year or this summer at least. Um, and then I would love to grow my music and like be able to do this like all the time, and make a living off of it. That would be amazing. But I am still like grateful that I can just like make songs and put them out, and like for me that's enough right now. So I'm grateful for wherever it goes.
Okay, and do you have someone in mind that you would like, and it doesn't need to pertain to music or acting or anything like that, but do you have a figure or a person that you would most like to work with in basically any field at this point?
Yeah, I feel like collabing with Tate McRae would be really awesome because she's also from Calgary, and like for a song, I feel like that'd be super cool.
Yeah, no, for sure, right?
Mhm.
Um, excuse me.
All good.
And when it comes to like obviously, like I said, I've been kind of on your dad's Facebook and so forth, and um, obviously your parents are quite supportive. And are you an only child, or do you have siblings?
I have a little brother. His name is Kenny.
Okay, and is he kind of following the same path, or is he kind of got his own direction he's kind of
He
going?
does his own thing. He's more hockey, karate, that kind of stuff. Um, yeah.
Okay, I was just kind of curious how the family trend of of
Yeah.
and yeah, the support system and stuff like that. And obviously, like I said, it's obvious your parents are very supportive of pretty much anything you do at this point, which is great. It's definitely nice to have that behind you for sure. Um,
Yeah.
if you had a place that you would like you said, you want to do some live shows and things like that. If you could perform live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I never really thought about it. Um, Honestly, if I could perform at like some sort of award show, I feel like that would be awesome. Doesn't
Okay,
like I don't think it matters where, but I feel like the whole experience of it would be so cool.
okay.
So,
So, do you watch the Grammys like every year and all that kind of stuff, or
yes, I love it.
okay?
All the
Yeah, very cool.
performances are like just so incredible.
I think my old age kicks in because the last couple of years, I've watched maybe half an hour of it, and I'm just like, I don't know anybody. Like, I just think my age is at that point now where I just don't know any of the current artists. I've been sticking with the people I
Yeah.
knew from like the '90s, I think. So, um, but that's very cool. That it's very. I find those shows are just so flashy, though, and maybe that's what appeals for you. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I
Um,
mean, I don't know. I find it very interesting. Like, since I'm a dancer too, um, I feel like if I could do something cool with like a choreographed dance number, kind of like all of that, I feel like that'd be so cool. So that's kind of why I like those shows because they do have lots of different elements. Like sometimes they have really crazy stuff and sometimes it's more simple. But yeah, I think with my dance background, I'm like into flashy stuff and the sparkles and everything. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
No, that's all good. Honestly, I think that's kind of what gets the attention as well, right? Um,
Mhm.
I remember talking with an acting coach that I worked with many years ago, and he actually was in Hollywood for a while, and he said that was the one reason he left Hollywood is because nobody was real.
Oh,
Is because everybody had to have the most recent fashions. They had to have, you know, whoever the current wardrobe person was or the makeup person or whatever. They had to have those people in their entourages and all this kind of stuff. And he said it just sort of wasn't real. So he kind of left Hollywood. But I
yeah,
think especially if you are in that kind of atmosphere, you almost have to be that way,
yeah,
which I don't know. I guess it depends on your personality. To me, that's almost sad in a way.
yeah. It does sound like a lot of like pressure. And I know like some people get like forced to wear things that maybe they wouldn't wear or whatever. So that is one kind of downfall of it. It feels very particular and everything's planned and nothing feels like completely real. But
Right. So if you actually started doing a bunch of live shows coming up here, firstly, what would be your like? Would you be open to doing things like? Oh my goodness, the festival name is escaping me. It happens every year. Anyway, like local festivals that either happen in Calgary or Alberta, start with those kind of things, or are you thinking clubs, or like where would you kind of like to get your foot started in terms of the live shows? And
um,
secondly, actually, I'll let you answer that one first, then I'll do the follow up.
okay. um, I feel like anywhere that I could get an opportunity to perform live would be amazing. The festivals sound really cool, so if I could do something like that, that would be awesome. But I'm opening or I'm open to playing anywhere, like anywhere that will give me an opportunity, you know?
And that's fair. Yeah. I think we're all at that point sometime in our career. So I'm
Yeah,
still there for acting. I'm just like, yeah, whatever work I can get, I'll take it.
yeah.
All good. Um, so if you're and this is again, hypothetical or whatever, but if you got to a point where you were steadily doing shows, a few a month or whatever the case, do you feel your parents should be there to keep you grounded? So you don't get too high and your head doesn't balloon too much. Do you think they'd be there to kind of say, okay, tone it down?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I feel like they will, um, especially with like my figure skating and dancing. Um, they were there at every single performance I possibly could do. They were there for it. So I feel like that wouldn't stop now just because it's something different. It's singing, but I feel like they would still find a way to come and support. So, yeah, my
Okay,
mom loves all that stuff too, so she'll definitely be there.
right. Yes. I always find that because I don't know, the example I always tend to go back to is like Justin Bieber. And he hit such success at such a young age. I just don't. I'm not convinced he was able to handle it.
Yeah,
And I don't know. It just unfortunately, I think it took him on a not the best trajectory, but that's just my opinion. So I always wonder about that, and within families, especially that are artsy or athletic and so forth, how that dynamic kind of works within the family. And it's always good to hear that the parents are there to help people keep people grounded. I know for me, my wife is the one keeping me grounded. Make sure my head doesn't balloon when I get my uh, fifth background job in a row, thinking I'm I don't know, Hugh Jackman or something.
background is so fun though.
It
Like
is.
you
It
get to
can be.
see how everything works, and you're like, oh, that's how they filmed that, and it's so interesting.
I completely agree with you. That's I know a lot of people are kind of anti background. Um, but yeah, no, I find especially if you're new into the industry, and even if you're not, like I just did some background recently, which is the first background I've done in a while. And again, it was like you said, it was just being there and being in the environment and watching what they're doing, and because you can always learn something, and you're meeting new people, and yeah,
Yeah,
and networking is so important in this industry that it's great to make those connections.
yeah. I think
And-
like one of my favorite things was the Ghostbusters background, just because it was such a big film and you got to see how everything worked, and like also the people that were there, like the other background people were so nice, and we spent like a week together for like days and days on end. Um, and we really just got to know each other, and basically we're playing games at the diner table while they're filming, because like you gotta look like you're natural, so might as well actually talk and get to know each other. So it was a really fun experience.
yeah, exactly. I know some folks they don't like the waiting around and sitting doing nothing. But again,
Well, it
like I
is a
said,
lot of waiting, sitting around and wait. Hurry up and wait is what we
it,
say.
right? Exactly. But like you said, it's a great opportunity to actually meet the new people,
Hmm.
and like I said, networking is just so important in this industry, music industry, all of them, really, right? To build
Hmm.
up that network a bit. Um, we are actually at the 36-minute mark, so we're doing quite well here. Uh, Usually around this point, I'll throw out to the folks watching that if you have any questions, as is scrolling at the bottom, feel free to ask either myself or Talia. And if not, I don't think I only have a few more questions really, and then we can either
Okay.
move on or yeah, like I said, if it's somebody else has some questions, you can pop those in. Um, when it comes to, I guess you started with piano. I guess where I wanted to lead with this question is: are you the kind of person who can do like walk onto stage and kind of do it like an acoustic number kind of deal? Can you grab a guitar, sit down, and just rip out a tune? And
See, unfortunately, that's the thing that I struggle with. I'm more a singer than like a musician, I guess.
okay,
Um,
yeah,
but I do have lots of friends that um, can play instruments and stuff. So that's where I'm at with like live shows. I'm trying to figure out how I would do it, since I'm not like 100% amazing at like one
right.
instrument yet. So yeah.
And do you have a core group of folks that you or musicians that you play with, or right
Um,
now?
like my mom has a couple friends that are in a band, so I play with them sometimes. Um, and I'm like gonna work with them a little bit to maybe figure out how I can do some live shows. Um, and that's kind of where I'm at right now with that.
Okay. And goodness, my 1 sec. I'm just gonna throw myself on mute just for a sorry, folks. Just my cold or whatever is seeping out here. Um, if you, oh yes, thank you for that. I actually forgot all about that. There's a little comment here. Congrats on your YBC music nominee for your first song. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So thank you for that. And yeah, let's hear about that.
Um, yeah, last year,
If you find out, I guess it would be the first start.
um, like a while ago, I don't know how long ago it was, but my producer was like, "Oh, there's this cool YYC music awards. You should like apply for it." So I did, and then um, he texted me one day and was like, "Oh, congratulations on your nomination." And I was like, "What?" So, and that was my very first song I ever put out. Um, and like it was so cool to see that it was recognized by like a group of people that like go through all of the nominations and everything, and they decided they liked it. So that was really cool. And I think that's kind of what inspired me to keep going, because I'm like, well, if that's my first song, I'm sure I can get better from there. So just keep going with it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And so, has that passed already? Was it just a nomination, or has that award
Yeah,
been awarded?
I just got nominated. I didn't
Okay.
get the full award, but the new nominations are going to be coming out pretty soon, I think, for this year. So that'll be very exciting to see.
For sure. And do you know how that works? Like, do you know how they choose their nominees or?
I think they have like a full, I was looking it up. It's like a full board of like people that are all like professional musicians and like come from all different backgrounds and recording um, backgrounds and stuff. Like it is a very professional group of people that decides, which is really cool. Um, and so they go through all of that. And then the one award that is nominated by like other people and like you get votes from the public. That one is the People's Choice Award, I think. So
Okay.
that's the only one where it's like kind of publicly chosen, but the rest is all like from the organization itself, which is really cool.
No, that is very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, is so with the people choice one, do you know if like when that comes out or where people can go to kind of check that out if they were to do that or?
Yeah, it's not out yet because they haven't announced um, all of that yet. And I think they even pick who are the nominees for that before you can vote for those people. So once all that comes out, I think it'll come out in June or so, June or May. And then I'm sure all your favorite artists will be posting it on their social medias and everything so that you can vote for them. So yeah, just follow me on Instagram. I'm sure I'll post about it.
Right. And you know what? I'll throw that back up there. There you go. Talia.Sargent at Instagram. Check it out. You know what? On that note, I think we will kind of wrap things up here.
Of course.
So again, note the Instagram as well. But the other one I do want to share is Linktree, which this is a great link. She's got tons of links there to like the music stuff, everything. Go there and check it all out. It's all amazing. So
Thank
definitely
you.
make sure you check that out. And I do hope that, especially, I mean, I'm still kind of reluctant to say that COVID's dying out, but when COVID is eventually leveled out here, I do hope you get that opportunity to do some live shows here. And,
Thank you.
yeah, throw out your talents there. So I'd like to take the time to thank you for taking the time to see me and chat with me and all that kind of stuff. And wish you nothing but luck. And
Thank you
for
so
the folks
much.
watching, if you have any other questions, throw them in right away because we're about to stop going live. But
Well,
yes,
thank you for having me and thanks for this opportunity. It was so awesome to be on Talent Talk and everything. So thank you.
thank you. And everybody else, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.